March 1st, 2026. I'm in Norwich, Connecticut, driving down Plain Hill Road, which has frequently been my starting point on a lot of these drives recently, especially in the winter. But I'm setting out today to drive around Norwich, and I want to do a black and white video. There's a new, it's kind of a part of a video editing system that I use. I mean, it's nothing revolutionary, but it should, if things go accordingly, produce a high contrast black and white image or video. The reason I want to do that, or at least try it out on this, at this point, is because of all the snow that's on the ground. That's going to make a nice, in theory, if my idea pans out here, it's going to make a nice black and white visual image on the screen, so that I'm obviously not going to have that chance in the spring and the summer and the fall. It's, we've had a considerable amount of snow this winter, and there's still plenty on the ground. It's been melting lately. We're back into a bit of a cold snap. This morning we had a dusting of snow. It's not plowable. It's not. Yeah, I didn't have to shovel. I didn't have to break out the snow blower. Nothing. But this black and white video, I mean, it's a Sunday. Right now it's let me take a ride down Shoals Avenue. It's 1:23 p.m., so the skies are overcast due to that very fast-moving little snow, the dusting that we had. It was a legitimate, very minor storm if you looked on if you looked at the Doppler radar. That was, it was clearly notable, but very fast-moving. Minimal amount of snow. Now, if it stuck around for, 12 hours, okay, then we would have a significant amount of snow and accumulation on the ground. But you can see on that tree to the right, this dusting just put, I don't know, an eighth of it, a 16th or an eighth of an inch of snow. And a lot of the trees, there's nothing. So it's extremely minor. Extremely minor what we just had. I'm on Sturtevant Street right now behind this, what used to be, it's filled now with all kind of businesses, but it used to be a grocery store right over here. I think it was Big Y and maybe a couple of different grocery stores. But let me cruise around some of these streets. I've been driving around doing a lot of these videos lately. I mean, if I really want to get completely unhinged, I could do a video now. It's only 1:25 p.m. and I could do one later on, because I like these evening drives. In the winter, I kind of didn't realize that the shadowing is more muted. The angle of the sun is better. In the summer, forget about it. The angle it's just too harsh for my liking. All right, so we emerge out onto, that was Sturtevant Street. We're back out on West Town Street. I'll take some of the back roads and get some nice black and white footage. But it's cold. It's colder. We have a minor cold snap coming in. I'm going to take a chance and go up Mediterranean Lane. Now this is going to be ultra narrow. This could be a mistake. I mean, I'm sure the city did what they could, but you know, we did have that big 20-inch snowstorm a few days ago, and this is one of the narrowest roads in Norwich. Even without snow, I mean, you can drive up here anytime, and it's still problematic due to its narrowness, and it's not a one-way street. This is a two-way road. So my car right now is taking up the entire road. And there's a corner up here. If somebody's coming around this corner real fast, which would be, you know, completely insane, be a head-on collision. But it's not a heavily traveled road. I mean, people live here. There's homes on this street, but it's not, this isn't like a great cut through to a time saver for people. It's not one of those situations. But I'm taking my time because I'm looking up to the left over these little snowbanks. But as you can see, the roads are soaking wet, and that's because of that, you know, dusting of snow we had. It just all melted instantly. There's chemicals on the road that melt everything. Slow down, 20 mile per hour speed limit. But you can, I mean, this road is ridiculously narrow. It's an ancient, I mean, this goes back maybe the 1600s. It goes way back in Norwich history. Early 1700s, late 1600s, whatever. If somebody knows or is into research and all that, you know, that type of information, man, I'd love to figure this thing out. The age of Mediterranean Lane. All right. So we're off Mediterranean. This is going to put us on Whitman Avenue. The beautiful Whitman Avenue, with a mixture of contemporary homes, new homes, and very old homes. I would say more modern era. There's a couple of older homes back there, but mostly it's, when I say modern era, I would say anywhere from the 1950s up to now. Like that brick house to the right, that's probably 25 years old, maybe, something like that. So obviously the modern era. Whitman Avenue, I'm going to take a right onto Case Street. If I can see around this big snowbank. It's all up to the other folks. I mean, me looking around the corners and things like that are, you know, I'm doing the best I can. But if somebody's speeding, if somebody's driving up K Street right now 65 miles per hour, then there's nothing I can do about it. I won't be able to see the guy in time, and that could be extremely dangerous. As we drive up K Street, now I'm recording the video in color, but I'm going to convert it to high contrast black and white. The editing program I use is Final Cut Pro. It's kind of, you know, it's Apple for a Mac computer. iMovie is very similar, but that's the Final Cut Pro is the, you know, the well, pro version, the unlimited version. Alright, let me take a look. Again, as I come around these corners, I'm doing it super careful. I mean, I'm like, oof. It's tricky. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to pile up the snow somewhere. I mean, they've been hauling snow away in certain areas in trucks, you know, bulldozers, trucks, and all this, but they're not doing it on, you know, conventional streets like, you know, this is Scotland Road. They're not going to come up here and get rid of all that. That's not happening. But we have a nice post-snowstorm sky up there. It's supposed to get, as the day progresses, completely clear. You know, the sun, I mean, I don't think there'll be a cloud in the sky later on. And then another very cold day tomorrow, but after that it's going to hit, I think it's 50s straight through. Next weekend I'm thinking, what was it, 61, 62 degrees, so I think we might be out of the woods as far as, you know, I would be really surprised if we had another 20-inch snowstorm. We had a 16 and a 20. That's 36 inches of snow. If I'm doing my math correctly. Well, there's a guy walking sticks, and, you know, people do want to go out and get their exercise, and it's tricky. So he's got an orange jacket on. You can see it a mile away. And there's no sidewalk, so that's, you know, I was down in Mohegan Park yesterday. I took a bunch of photographs, panoramic photographs of the, you know, Spalding Pond and Mohegan Park in general. And there were a handful of people down there, so there's still, let me go right, there's still, there's a lot of people that want to get out there and resume their exercise program. They're walking, they're jogging, they're running, they're, you know, whatever fitness routine that they're into. And they're starting to slowly emerge, but it's tough to, without sidewalks. I mean, there's some sidewalks, but it's just not a consistent thing that you can count on. The ones that are shoveled are fine, but the ones that are not shoveled, you know, you got 2-3 feet of snow, so you're not going to be doing it. You're not going to be walking down that path. I'm on East Town Street at the moment. As we cruise around and gather our black and white footage. So this is going to be, East Town was back there. This is Canterbury Turnpike. But yeah, I'm shooting color video right now, and it's just a simple conversion. It's not, if you've never done it, it's not simple, but if you have a little experience with video editing and Final Cut Pro, I would consider it easy if you have I would say intermediate amount of skill with Final Cut Pro. I would say if you're an intermediate, a conversion to high contrast black and white would be very simple. Of course, you're going to want to make your fine-tuning adjustments and your tweaking, and if you don't know how to do a lot of that, forget it. Like the first time I looked at that program, that software, Final Cut Pro, it was like, forget it. It's not happening. I mean, what do I do here? It's like trying to learn, a difficult language, like trying to learn a Mandarin or something. It's not going to roll right off the tongue on day one. Same thing with Final Cut Pro. It's overwhelming. Photoshop, all of those. Stewart Road. That's where we are now. Stewart Road. These are all newer homes. Actually, I'm going to take a right on Wayne Street. There's some mix of new. It's all modern era on this, Stewart Road. All modern era homes. And the same thing with this Wayne Street that I'm on right now. But some of them go back to the, I would say, 50s, maybe on the right, 60s, 50s, 60s. This is going to lead out, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right up to modern times. There's some brand new ones in here. I've been in a few of these. They're really, a lot of them are kind of one-of-a-kind, unique, designed by an architect with, people giving their input and everything, but all right. So this is going to put me out on Harlan Road. But yeah, the conversion to black and white in Final Cut Pro it shouldn't be difficult. If you're starting out with Final Cut Pro, I would say give yourself 3 months. Until you feel comfortable working with that. Let's see here. I'm going to take a few different roads here if I can. What is this? Kuprak Road. Yeah, this will lead over to, actually it leads up to WICH radio station and Norwich Technical High School. Kelly Middle School will be up there. I've done other black and white videos before, but this high contrast thing is going to be interesting. I don't think it should look fine. It's not going to look crazy or anything. There's the WICH radio headquarters right there, WCTY, WNL, and WKNL right there. That's what it says on the building. So they broadcast out of there. There's big giant antennas in the field behind the radio station. Take a left onto Ox Hill Lane. Not road, but lane. Straight ahead in the distance, that's Norwich Technical High School. Used to be Mohegan Community College. It is now a technical high school. And you know what? I think I'll take a drive around it if I can look around that snowbank and prevent myself from getting destroyed. Let's see, cars, buses. It's a Sunday. I don't think it matters, but let's follow the rules. Why not? We get a little extra credit for going above and beyond. But this is a technical high school. The old Norwich Tech, which I went to, was on New London Turnpike. That is no longer in existence. It's been knocked down, and it's now a parking lot for Three Rivers Community College. All right, there's a look right there. Now look at the exercise room. I don't know if you can see in the that glass to the right there. Those are all, there's elliptical machines, there's treadmills, they're Precor. That's a high-end company that makes exercise equipment. Off in the distance, you can't see it probably because that's snowbank, but there's a big field where they play, I think, soccer, baseball, and I don't know. They don't do football, I don't think. I think Norwich Tech has always been soccer. And this is behind the back part of the school, automotive department. I mean, you come to this Norwich Technical School and you walk out of this place with a certificate or you're way ahead of the game. I mean, you're gonna, auto repairs and things. If you want to get into the auto repair business, this is it right here. You walk out of this thing, you got a leg up on everybody. Then you can really, I mean, if you want to get crazy, you can fine-tune things, start specializing in, maybe foreign car repairs, maybe a transmission specialist, work on certain aspects of, automotive repair work, restoration. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But they have a lot of really good, technical carpentry, plumbing. I mean, if you're into it, I would definitely recommend it. Senior Center on the left. Let's see here. Yeah, Kelly Middle School used to be, it was called Kelly Junior High. They changed the name of it. Why they changed the name from junior high to middle school, change all the signs and everything. It's kind of it makes you wonder why they do that. There's a good look at it right there. Nice sky behind it. Beautiful lighting right now for video. That's another reason I'm doing this, this black and white. It's hard to get good color. When I say good, you can get, my videos, I try to make them as accurate as possible. I do have a colorblind deficiency. I can see colors, but I have trouble with certain colors that I can't differentiate between green, red, brown. Certain colors are difficult. This is Mahan Drive. I'm taking a left onto John Edward Road. But I try to get the colors as accurate as I can, but it's very difficult to get perfect accuracy. I mean, unless you're dealing with, Hollywood level professional digital video cameras, that sometimes they still use film. Quentin Tarantino, and there's certain directors that still insist on using film, and makes sense for their work, and it looks great. Spielberg, I'm not sure if he still does. Whatever. There's certain people that will probably never get away from film. As we drive through the outer, well, no, this is Mohegan Park. I mean, it's not the outer portion. This is one of the nice roads in Mohegan Park. It'll probably be good for black and white. Like right there is a good shot for black and white. But it's again, it's difficult to get perfect color it's not like, you shoot video, you look at the final product and you say, oh wow, all the color, everything is perfectly accurate. That's not easy. There's things, white balance, and a lot of technical issues you run into with getting the color to be accurate. And some people have a kind of a, preference for warmer looking video or cooler. Cooler would be more towards the blues. Warmer would be more towards, an orange or a warmer, in the sense of, like warmth. Warmth is associated with orange and red and yellow, and cool colors are the term cool is associated with blue, like, that's kind of an old school way of talking about the visuals of certain movies were filmed in a little bit cooler. See, two guys in black outfits against a white background. That's good for black and white. As I slow down to, grab that footage. Again, no sidewalks. I mean, not that there's sidewalks here, but they have to walk in the road. They can't get off into the parking area over there that would be safer, so it's tricky. This is Judd Road. Directly in front of us is the Rose Garden as I cruise around gathering what will be black and white footage. Wow, there's somebody making a snowman over there. A woman. That's really cool. So we're leaving Mohegan Park. I'm going to get on Rockwell Street temporarily. But if you really want to get into what I was just talking about back there, and chances are close to 100% that you don't care, and I don't blame you. But if, for the technical people looking into this, just go to YouTube and type in 2 words, color science, and just hit enter, and you'll be inundated. I'm on Orchard Street. You'll be inundated with mountains and mountains of information and video and everything you can possibly think of dealing with that subject matter of color science and how to color correct, color correction. Some videos, like, people don't do any color correction, and you're looking at a video and you go, why is everything, somebody would say, how come that woman is green, or so, this is what happens if you don't use proper technique with color correction. I mean, I try the best I can, believe me, it's not easy. It's difficult. Man, oh man, this is, they gotta take your life in your hands coming around these corners. But people are real nice about it. Everybody's, they're all in the same boat, so everybody's kind of looking out for one another. I like that. Again, perfect conditions for video. Man, that sky right now, this is, if I could tailor things, this is textbook. I'm on Hickory Street. I get a video where I walked up and down Hickory Street on foot, the whole thing. And I covered, I just recorded video of pretty much, I think if you ever lived on Hickory Street, I got your house is in there. Just go to my channel and type in the search area, Hickory Street, and that video will come right up. So if you ever lived on Hickory Street, got a video, I'm on the ground walking around. Okay, I gotta swing up there a little bit. I gotta turn around. That Greenville Elementary School, they're building it, and I want to catch some of that just for historic purposes. Let me get close to that Russian Orthodox church right there with that gold dome. Right there in front of us. And there's another church right there, St. Mary's. And there's also a very interesting cemetery. This cemetery, right there's a mix of old and new, but there's some really old stones in there. So if somebody's interested in that type of research and different, families and headstones of folks that lived in the area back many, many decades ago, that's worth checking out. All right, I'm going to take a ride up. This is a dead end, so it's kind of a drag when you get up to the end there. It can be difficult to turn around. This isn't a little compact car, so it's a little tricky. But anyways, wow. They're really coming along with this school. I mean, that thing's open. I'm not going to drive in there. I feel like it. I mean, if I was really nuts, I would. But am I crazy enough to do that? I mean, let's just get a shot at this thing. I'll be summarily kicked out of here in 3 seconds, but let's lock onto this thing. That's going to be Greenville Elementary School right there. And there's another foundation directly in front of that big giant. This is phenomenal. I mean, compared to the other school was perfect for its era. I mean, the population wasn't as big, and obviously, but this thing's going to be gigantic. So that's kind of a nice little bonus right there we grabbed on this little drive. Yeah, let's do a little exploring. I'll go down a few different streets here. Again, getting out of these roads is not the easiest thing in the world. All right, let's see. Convent Avenue. It's going to be a little tight. There's that Russian Orthodox church on the left, and the other St. Mary's in the background there. That's a nice juxtaposition. If I had a regular stills camera, that would be a good shot. Something to keep in mind for the future. I mean, I was out, like I said earlier, I was out shooting photographs. Wow, this guy's blocking the entire road. This is interesting. I wonder how long these guys are going to basically just block the road, even though they know there's a person, me, driving down the road. I mean, if it was me, I would, as soon as somebody came behind me, I would instantly take off. Well, that's just me. You gotta be really, really careful. You gotta be really super, super careful. I can't stress it enough. Getting around these snow. That's one thing I will be happy to see gone. are these gigantic, in some cases, snowbanks. Like on the left down here. I mean, just to give you an... Well, you don't have a frame of reference, but that left snowbank there, driving around that thing is difficult. I'm going to take a left down here. There used to be a duck pin bowling alley right there. Let me pull in here. This is kind of interesting. Okay, right across the street, right there, Indian Triumph, Street Stuff Motorcycles. That used to be Savage Hardware. And before that, I think it might have been a church or something. Smith Brothers Transmissions over there. But this used to be right here in this location. I think this is the exact location. This is going way, way back. Probably, I don't know when, 40s, 50s, whenever. Duck pin bowling. And it burned to the ground. Then it was the Satellite Cafe. That may have burned to the ground too. I'm not sure about the Satellite burning to the ground, but this is, what is it, South Golden Street. Norwich Public Utilities is down here. Over to the left, I used to go to this place. Had to be one of their best customers. I'm getting to a train track here. I'm super cautious. But to the left, you can't get in there anymore. It's storage or whatever it is. But that used to be Cash Home Center, Cash Lumber. Back in the, I don't know, 80s, 70s, whatever. And that was relatively close to my house. I used to go back there all the time. See, I got to get out of here. This is Norwich Public Utility. You got to have a pass to get through there. It's blocked off. But I used to come down to Cash Home Center. And we're talking old school, old world hardware store. Same thing with Savage. I was there. I went to Cash Home Center more. They had lumber. They had stuff, that Savage Hardware didn't have. But I remember walking into Savage Hardware, and the guys, they're right on you. The minute you walk in the door, what can I help you with? And you say, I need this really unusual component for a, steam radiator fitting or some completely off the wall part. And they had it. They had everything. Directly in front of us used to be a little, I don't know if it was a, coffee shop, donut shop, something like that, right there. Now it's empty. But Savage Hardware, the guys they had in there, these basic hardware geniuses, you don't see that anymore. You walk into Home Depot, there's nobody around. Occasionally you get somebody, hey, can you tell me where this is or that is? They'll do their best. They can look it up on like a iPad or whatever they have. They do a good job, but it's nothing like the old days. These guys, hands-on, measurements, and just every conceivable thing. You walked out of there with 100% confidence that the thing you got was perfect. But they went out of business. The big stores put them out. The big stores put them all out of business. I'll take a quick zip through the east side. Straight ahead over there, they're still working on the former YMCA building. Very, very exciting project. This is Burnham Square right here. I'm just going to take a quick zip through the east side. Right here. East Main Street. It's 2:01 p.m. right now. Used to be a guy up here on the right that sold blocks of ice. And when I say blocks of ice, I walked in there, I got ice once, and he had a block of ice that was taller than, it was 8 foot tall, 8 foot wide. It was a giant, massive hunk of ice. I mean, it was as big as a small room, and he'd carved out whatever you wanted. Bishop School to the left. Let me turn down Stanton Avenue. This is kind of an adventure, this ride. I mean, wow, that's a nice scene. A black cat on that chair. This is a wide lens. You won't be able to see it. You might. See that chair in front of that door? There's a black cat. And the sky is getting bluer. You can see the blue. There's clouds, but you can see the blue sky starting to come out. So, these super accurate weather reports that we get in the modern era are really, really precise. All right, here's the back of Bishop School. Let's take a look at this thing right there. It's been upgraded in certain areas. Now, what does this thing say? Rose City School, Bishop School, inclusive, resilience, growth, success. Okay, let's head down the road here. So what is this? Bishop School Early Learning Center and Administrative Offices. That's back here. So Stanton Avenue. This is going to bring me out to it's Hamilton Avenue just for a little bit. Can I go up? Yeah, no, I'm going to have to go this way. So we're back on East Main Street. Liberty Restaurant Equipment Supplies, still in business. They've been there forever. Tallman Street to the left and right, Tallman Street Extension. Green light ahead. Didn't make it. That's fine. I don't care. I'm going to swing this car over a little bit. Point. So to the right we have amazing furniture and sleep shop. Whether that's, I don't know what that was years ago. It's been a number of things. I mean, if anybody knows, let me know. That building goes back a long way. 364 is the number of that building. But it was many, many things over the years. Right now they're having a sale, 40% off. Okay, I'm on Main Street, down city right now, Norwich. Let's get crazy. I'll drive down this street here to what used to be the train station, right on the right-hand side there. Also, the Norwich Bulletin was in there. That's a building that somebody should. I'm surprised that hasn't been developed. let's get a look at the back. Some big snow mounds. Let's get a look at the back of this. Wow, that's kind of wide open. Back of the YMCA and Catholic Charities. It's a different building there. Let me swing way around. This is one of these days I can come down here on foot and walk around and record video of the progress of that YMCA project. My only hesitation is I don't want to be thrown out by not necessarily security, but by people that are working on the building. So right there is the old train station. It's a beautiful building. And it was occupied by the Norwich Bulletin. I don't think it is anymore. But boy, that's somebody could turn that into a big restaurant, nightclub, whatever. So to the right is the back of the Otis Library. So I'm behind a bunch of buildings. Man, oh man, this guy might block me in. Nope. I think I can squeeze around him. So there's some buildings right there. You know, the back. You can see the top of the Regan over there. Back of Reed and Hughes. That's been completely rehabilitated. Beautiful, immaculate work those people did. There's the train trestle, a big, huge train trestle. I've seen people walk over it. It's not allowed, but I've seen it done. Certainly do not recommend it. The disco building right there. That's one of my favorite buildings in Norwich. I mean, this is the back side of it, but it's a great building. Norwich had different eras of architecture, the Art Deco era, just many Victorian, whatever, many eras. I'm going to try to get a wide shot of that train trestle right there. It's huge. I mean, that is massive. There's one that I have a lot of footage of in Norwich, in the Uncas Leap area. But it's nowhere near the size of this thing. So there's a good shot of that. Okay, do not enter. I wanted to go up a road over there, but I can't because it's a do not enter situation. So I'm not going to enter. I'm not going to violate any protocols here. But, we're getting a good look at the back of the Otis and different buildings, historic properties, and some really cool stuff. There's another one, I think, Art Deco, straight ahead. I always like that building as well. Liquor World. Now it's Discount Liquor World, but right there, that's really cool. Oh, man. Ooh, let's see if I can... no traffic either way. Good. This puts me out at the roundabout, or, as some people like to call it, the rotary. As the sun comes out... I mean, there's clouds, but that sun is shooting out a little bit. All right, we went full circle around that roundabout. Well, let's go up Bath Street. So people are merging. They're walking around the city again. Let me swing over and point it over to City Hall. Wow, the sun, really nice. The sun just came out and it's pointing at City Hall, built in 1873. It's a kind of a famous building, locally. Beautifully maintained by the city. Yeah, people are starting to come out. It's 39 degrees right now. Wow. So that's good for melting. Back on Main Street, Down City, Flatiron Building coming up on the left. Very, very nice. Another historic building. That's, this, again, I have a lot of favorite buildings. I should do a top 10. Slater. There's so many. Man, oh man, this is tight. Oof. Well, we made it. And there's another Flatiron building. Norwich has 2 Flatiron buildings. There's one right down on the left. You won't be able to see that. It's that last building on the left right there. You won't be able to see the, the Flatiron looking part, but that's been recently purchased. $2:12 p.m. I don't know what is going on here. We're stopping. Now the light is red, so this is, you know what? I mean, this is nuts, but I'm going to back up. Just because I don't want to be, there's a lot of traffic down there. So a rare move right there, backing up Main Street, Norwich, Connecticut. Never did that before. The fact that I have it on video, that's pretty cool. But yeah, look at those clouds. They have blue sky. Fantastic. We went from total overcast at the beginning of the video to a nice, attractive and visually attractive white puffy clouds and mixed with blue. Excellent. And now we're on Washington Street. All right, let me go up Buckingham Avenue. That's one of the probably. This might be look straight. Well, you won't be able to. The camera's not going to do it justice. But this is like driving straight up, starting right about here. I mean, this is probably the steepest hill in Norwich to drive up. Steeper than Jail Hill. Right here is the steepest, probably 50 or 60 feet in Norwich for driving, for a road. See, there's a fire hydrant to the right. It's buried in the snow, but at least it's visible. They'll have access to it. So that's Buckingham Avenue. If you're ever driving around, you want to drive up the steepest hill in Norwich, except the only problem is getting around the corner. I can't see a thing. But luckily we made it. And we're on Cedar Street. The reason I came up on Cedar Street was because I want to see the panoramic view of the harbor marina down there. In Norwich. All right, that's coming up. So right there, Yeah, the apartments up there, or condos, whatever they are, named Harbor View. That makes sense because there is a harbor view here. Right there. That's a good view. We get beautiful sky up there. We have a nice river, and there's the marina, and there's beautiful buildings all over the place. It's a good place to park for a second, and there's a little section you can walk out. I see people taking pictures there all the time. There's a little spot you can walk out onto, and there's benches and things like that. This is another tight street. People park. Let's go up Fountain Street. I mean, this is real steep. Not as steep as the other one, but it's steep. A lot of really cool historic homes up here. Oh yeah, you know what this leads to? Happy Street. If I took a right, that brings me down Happy Street. Let's do it. It's only a small, well, Happy Street goes back the other way. I could have taken a left or right, and that's Happy Street. But right now I'm on Happy Street. And there's a really cool house right to the left, very historic. I don't see a date on it, but it's very old. And I'm going to turn left on Cedar if I can see around this. Yeah, I don't see a date on that house, but it goes way back. Could be 1700s. There's a couple over here. I think one of them, let me see if there's a date. There might be a date on this thing. Okay, that one's 1847, so that's not as old as I thought. I mean, it's old, obviously. But it's not 1700s. It's kind of definitely a wide panoramic view. Top of Cedar Street over here. I mean, Norwich is very hilly. There's no getting around it. I'll take a right down Elmwood Avenue. Why not? I mean, we're here, we're driving around. You see Elmwood Avenue, you take it. "2:20 p.m. Driving around getting black and white footage. Nobody coming either way. Fantastic. The sun is dipping in and out behind clouds. And that's why you need a camera that automatically exposes for the conditions in front of it. The conditions that we're enjoying right now are changing on a second by second basis. 1 minute you're in shade, the next minute you're in sunshine, the next minute the sun goes behind a cloud. That changes the exposure, and the camera adjusts automatically. Now you can use a fixed settings on this thing. I wonder if I should cruise through NFA. It's Sunday. I mean, there's some people, I just don't want to be pulled over or stopped and questioned by security. Because I got a camera on this thing. It looks a little suspicious. I want to try to swing over and get this building in here. Right there. And then Slater Memorial Museum, definitely one of my favorite buildings in Norwich, the tower there. The President of the United States, Bill Clinton, gave a speech in there one time as president. He was the sitting president. And I was lucky enough to be there. I was in the second row. I shook hands with him. He came outside. I shook hands with him twice. And he came out that door right directly in front of us. And he went to the left. It would be his right, but our right now left. And this entire sidewalk and this whole area was swarmed with people. And everybody was talking to Bill Clinton and shaking hands with him, taking pictures. And I got tons of good pictures right here. So that was a very historic occasion for Norwich. That was a very, very important historical day when a sitting president comes to your town and gives a speech. That matters. But Bill Clinton, he was just like a regular guy. People are talking to him, and it's the president. And people think, well, certain things, like preconceived notions or whatever. But he was a regular guy. He's talking about, just different kind of food with people, and where do you live, what street, and all this regular guy stuff. It was really it was really quite an exciting day. I remember one, it was kind of funny, one woman, he comes walking out, he's shaking hands and everything. One woman goes, you look a lot thinner in real life. On TV, you look heavier. He's like, no, come on, I'm in great shape here. I jog and, all this stuff. Just the guy, he's got a reputation as being a, extrovert. He gets along with people, communicating with people and socializing, interacting with people very well, very skilled at that. But it was so down to earth and normal. It was like, okay, this is not contrived. At least that's the way it was projected. I'm on Lincoln Avenue right now. That's the way it was projected, and I interpreted it when it happened back so many years ago. A lot of incredible houses on Lincoln Avenue, William Street. This is Onico Street. I'll take a right, head up Williams Street. Wow. There's a guy with right to the left there, an electric Volkswagen bus. That's really nice. He's charging it up right now. So this is William Street. A lot of very prominent people way back when lived on this street. These used to be single-family homes. Now a lot of them are multifamily. Not all of them, but a lot of them are utilized as apartment houses and things like that. But back in the day, like the one on the right-hand side, that's a single-family home. So the money, the wealth, was definitely here in Norwich, no doubt about it, as I sneak around this snowbank. I'm looking to my right. You probably can't see what I'm looking at, but it's kind of difficult as it gets a little bit cloudy right at this moment, and the camera adjusts accordingly. All right, there's another scene, a wider scene. Teal House, that white structure to the right-hand side. Park Congregational Church to the right. Slater Memorial Museum to the left. Directly in front of us, NFA. And Slater is on the campus of NFA. (2:27 p.m.) And Broadway, another one. This is probably, I don't know, some of the most incredible houses in the city of Norwich are on this street right here. I mean, there's really one or two that I could pick out that, I mean, these are national level, you know, the competition for just amazing architecture and everything from the exterior of the building to the interior, you know, the flooring, the woodwork. And back there on that street right there, there's a handful that are, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful houses, but there's two or a couple that are just, you know, off the charts. Look at the one to the right. That was a single family house. I mean, Norwich was a very wealthy town. I don't know, late 1800s, whenever. You know, the Industrial Revolution. Who knows? Whenever. The histories are definitely available. But there was a lot of money in this town. I'm on Washington. I'm going to work my way. I'm going to start to work my way back to where I began this video, but I'll cover some territory on the way back. Christ Episcopal Church to the right. It's empty. It's no longer a church. I mean, it's physically appears to be. It was constructed as a church, but is no longer a functioning church. No one attends it. It is unoccupied. That's a building that deserves to be developed. If it's not going to be a church, which unlikely it will be, then it should be converted into, I don't know, housing, something useful. So that building needs to be utilized. First Baptist Church right in front of us. Whoa, a dead skunk in the middle of the road back there. Wasn't it Leon Redbone that had a song called Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road? I remember it was a hit in the 70s. So this is Fairmont Street. And it's, again, narrow. People, you got to park where you can find a spot. It's not easy. There's a police car over here. Whoa. is going to be tricky. A couple of police cars back there. No idea. I didn't see any activity. But they're there for a reason. What a cool color house on the left over there. I hope you could see it. It's on the corner of Coit and Ann Street. Once in a while I jam the brakes on just because I'm worried that somebody could be coming out of their driveway without me being able to see a thing. So this is Coit Street. I'm heading up to let me think here. Here's another cop. So that's the third police vehicle. I'm going to go up Alice Street. If I can. So there's something going on back there. Norwich police officers are there for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. But it's not for nothing. As we cruise very slowly up Alice Street. I've done Alice Street before. I've driven up here, but it seems to me there's new homes off to the right there. That looks brand new. This thing, wow, this is a cul-de-sac, or it comes to an abrupt ending. Didn't know that. It's a house for sale right there, but yeah, they have underground wiring or underground utilities. There's an Alice Court to the right here. I mean, I know I've been up here, but the fact that it's a, no outlet, I don't remember that aspect of this street. All right, what's up here? Wiley Street. Where does it? I'm not going to do I'm just trying to get my bearings. Wiley Street. Just for laughs, let's take this thing, see where it brings us. I mean, Asylum Street is right down. I can throw a rock and hit Asylum Street. Whoa, where does this go? All right, it's a big hill. All right, I think I know. This is behind, not CVS. It used to be CVS. Behind Walgreens. Okay, brings us out on Maple Street. Now I know where I am. Extremely steep. Whoa. Sometimes your car will bottom out on those things. So let's drive up Maple Street now. $2:36 p.m. Car back there yet to be dug out. Whoa. A dog. Gotta be real careful. You don't see too many dogs around without an owner. That's rare. All right, I'm going to jump onto Pine Street. Yeah, right there, Pine. We'll cover Pine. $41 now. The sun, I mean, the angle of the sun, let the melting continue. The storm we had earlier today was essentially a blip on the radar screen. It did nothing. It was a dusting. You didn't need to shovel. You don't need to do anything. You just wait. The sun's out now. 41 degrees. It'll be toast. Smoke coming out of that roof. That guy's burning wood in there. Coming to the end of Pine Street. And this puts us on New London Turnpike. With a much more aggressive sun coming out behind those clouds. Norwich Assembly of God Church to the right there. As we slowly work our way back to the Norwich Town section of Norwich, Connecticut. And this section right here is real nice. A little slice of the countryside, a little pond to the right. In the autumn season, the fall, the foliage through this little strip is always incredible. Doctors' offices to the right, oral surgeons, psychiatrists, wide variety, general practitioners, pediatricians, surgeons. That's just a few of the medical professionals that have offices back there, that little strip Obviously, Bacchus Hospital, less than half a mile down the road back there, so makes sense. Gorin's Furniture to the left. What does it say? Wow, since 1936. All right, first time I've really ever noticed that above the Gorin's, that logo, the font they've been using for forever. It says since 1936, so they've been around for a long time. Wow, 36. They have an anniversary, 90 years. FW Web Company on the left. Used to be Benny's. I should pull in there. They still get the Benny's lights, for the parking lot at night. Those round things. Right there used to be an automotive. To the right hand side, you pull in here, you get tires or whatever, battery, whatever they would do. Right there was the main entrance. Still, the main entrance looks different. They made some changes. I don't know if you can see those lights. Let me back up. Those are the Benny, those round, globe, funny looking things. Really cool store, Benny's. Everybody loved Benny's. That was a Norwich favorite. But after a while, it didn't. Business was not good enough to keep it open. Planet Fitness directly in front of us. I got a light, but I can't see it. I mean, I can't. I'm going to think it's green because everybody on the other side of the road is going, but I can't see a thing. This could be a problem. Well, guess what? Change of plans. Go right. I don't feel like going down Contrabando again, so I'll just turn around in this parking area. Actually, this is behind the mall. It's not a mall. It used to be Norwich Town Mall. Now the mall is gone. Now it's a grouping of stores. Apparently, this is an area where they dumped all the snow, or a considerable amount of it. Right there. Wow, I've never really been back here. Let's grab some footage. This is behind all the stores. Like, what is that? Pet Sense? Over there is Planet Fitness and some big snow removal vehicles right there. Quest Diagnostics. Okay, they're definitely there. Bunch of vehicles, so they're mobile. They're a mobile business. I mean, you go there you go to Quest Lab to get your blood work. Let's get a wide shot here. I kind of like architecture, like even things like this, the angles or whatever. Yeah, Quest, you go to get your blood work done physically in the building, but I think they, obviously with all those vehicles, they have remote, whether they go house to people's houses that maybe can't get out, or make deliveries of, I don't know if they make delivery. I know people come there and pick the blood work up, and it goes to different labs or whatever. Man, look at that snow to the right. That's where they took all this. I recall the day of the blizzard, I came down here and it was cleared out quickly, and this is where they dumped it all right there on the right-hand side, all the way back. That's pretty cool. At least now I know where it all went. If I kept going straight, which I can't, I would drive into the Yannick River. So the Yannick River is right there. Let's see if you can see it. Probably not. It's right below that metal, guardrail. So Stop and Shop is on my left. And the temperature seems to be just holding steady at 41, so. But I think tomorrow is going to be bitter cold. I think. And then the good weather kicks back in. Man, oh man, there's people, I don't know what's going on over here. People backing in, people backing out. There's like 5 million parking spaces available. So. This is a bridge that goes over the Yannick River. Look at that hill. That was covered with 20 inches of snow not that long ago. With the angle of the sun and everything directly on that. There's the Edward and Mary Lord Family Health Center at UCFS Healthcare, directly in front of us. Years ago, this was a bunch of other businesses. The one on the left portion of that building was something called the Clown Galley. It was a restaurant, among many other things. I mean, if you go way back, I don't know, what was it, Styles maybe? I don't know. They sold, I could be wrong on the styles, jeans and different clothes for, might have been ladies' clothing or whatever, but ignore that Chelsea Groton bank thermometer back there. It's 10 degrees off, and it hasn't been fixed, so it says 32 degrees back there. It's really 42, 41, 42. So this is Town Street. On the right-hand side, you have the Norwich Town Green, very historic. Straight ahead, you have the First Congregational Church. First Congregational Church of Norwich. Straight ahead, to the left, you have the Johnson Home. A couple of beautiful buildings. Right there. First Congregational Church. Still functioning. Meeting House Rock's to the right. I have a video where I go right up that thing. Show you everything you need to know about Meeting House Rock. As we cruise down West Town Street. 2:49 p.m. Sacred Heart Church to the left. Dime Bank says, let's see what their thermometer says. 41 degrees, so they're accurate. Look at that sky now, pretty blue. The weathermen, meteorologists had a good year, a good winter this year. It's, as far as the excitement factor, I mean, they knew this blizzard was building for really probably a week out. I mean, they were talking about it. Certain things setting up in certain ways in the atmosphere. You never know until it really hits. I mean, there's always last-minute atmospheric changes that, little unpredictable things happen. Some unpredictable events kick in and new calculations are made. But they were pretty accurate with this storm. You can't complain. So I'm going to take a right. This video is going to be coming to a close very soon. I'm going to turn right onto Huntington Avenue. Huntington Avenue blends right in with Plain Hill Road, which is where we began this. I like to do one take, one uninterrupted video on these drives if I can. I can't always do it, but if I can. So if everything pans out, this will be one take, and I will end where I started, and that's right around here. This video is over.